You're listening to the Legal Shit Podcast, the show that dives into all things legal. In a world where the law can be complicated, convoluted, and confusing, we're here to break it down for you. So, let's get started. And remember, it's not just talk, it's legal shit.
Hey, welcome again to another live episode of Legal Shit. We're here in downtown West Palm Beach on a lovely, beautiful Saturday morning, and we've been pretty lucky with our Saturday mornings. We've got beautiful weather.
Beautiful.
So join us. We're glad you're joining us for another episode of Legal Shit. We have a few different things to talk about today. What are we talking about? What are we talking about today?
What are we talking about? Something that recently happened to us. Yes. So we were looking for a topic, and one just fell in our lap.
All right, so first, we're going to, as we do every week, we bring you up to speed on the Shannon Atkins case. That's the case where a Florida resident was arrested for posting supposedly threatening emails or threatening posts on social media against President Trump. And so we've been following that case. He's out. He's on house arrest, and he's represented now by the Public Defender's Office. And on March 12th, the Public Defender's Office filed a motion to compel. And in that motion, they're arguing that the state isn't giving them discovery because a criminal defendant, you're entitled to discovery, what the state has in its possession to help prove their case. And so they said there were several attempts made to contact the state attorney. Finally, the state attorney got back to them and said she was out sick. And so she gave a few things over. I guess the defense now has a recording of, actually a video of Shannon Atkins' arrest, also a recording. And it was very unclear if it was recording between the guy who complained or ratted out Shannon Atkins to the FBI. Yeah. It looks like it was a phone call between him and Shannon, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was.
Wait, repeat that? I don't get it. I didn't hear it.
I didn't understand it either. If you read the motion to compel that was filed by Mr. Atkins' attorney,
okay,
it seems to read as if there was a phone call between Shannon Atkins, a recording of a phone call between Atkins and the complaining witness, the person that called the FBI on him.
Oh, wow.
I don't think that's the case. I think what he was saying is, what it should have said is actually it was a recording of the phone call between the complaining witness and probably the FBI.
Okay.
And they also said,
who wrote that? Who do you think wrote that?
The defense attorney. That's in the motion, asking the judge to order the state of Florida to give them more discovery that they think the state has. And so we'll see. We'll see what the state's going to turn over, and ultimately, maybe we can do some public records requests and get some of those documents. So that's that. Also, I wanted to talk just briefly about a scam going around, and it's probably not just in this county or in this state. It could be anywhere. But I got a call the other day, actually yesterday it was, from a client who said she received a call from a sheriff's department officer saying that there was a warrant out for her arrest because she failed to appear for federal jury duty.
Oh, wow.
And they even used the judge's name. You didn't appear in Judge Bloom's courtroom. She's a federal district court judge here.
Judge Bloom, the famous judge.
And how did she get it again? By email or by
she received
a letter?
Phone call.
Oh, now you can't believe anything that comes in a phone call.
And then the caller said he's a detective, and so what she could do is she could turn herself in or then get booked. Yeah. Or if she wanted, she could pay $500 and she wouldn't have to appear.
Wow, that sounds like a deal. That sounds like a bargain,
you don't want to jump in your car. You don't want to do all that stuff, so you might as well pay, over the phone. Or through a letter, if they send you a letter.
They probably take Apple Pay.
Yeah. Or Cash App, Venmo.
Yeah, I'm sure they take it.
Yeah.
And so, but my client didn't have all those details. I had to go do some digging because she just says, they called and said they're coming to arrest me right now. So what should I do? So I called the Palm
Always
Beach
have
County,
a lawyer on hand. That's what you should do.
The PBSO, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department, our office, and they said no, we'd never call someone. We just go there and arrest them. So that we don't think so. But then I called the numbers and left a message for the detectives. They never called me back. Then I called Judge Bloom's chambers and spoke to her judicial assistant and told her what happened. She said she would tell the judge, and I'd never heard back from the judge. So, and then I did a little more online research, and it looks like this is a scam going around. So if you're contacted by telephone or by letter, most likely by telephone, and someone says that there's a warrant out for your arrest and you didn't show up for jury duty, give someone a call, give it a lawyer a call or something. Just don't sit there.
Check into it. Because just like I violate a few tolls over my lifetime.
Tolls.
No.
Yeah.
I think
It's a transponder.
I think the transponder wasn't working, but
I mean, they die after a couple of years. I don't check them. I just put them on my card. They're supposed to work forever. That's it. You're coming out of my credit card. That's it. Why do I need to check? It's like oil change. Why do I have to do an oil change? You did an oil change already. Now I got to do an oil change every month. It should still have the oil in it. It should have the transponder should still be working.
I don't know.
The battery should be fine. It should be UV light. It's on the car. But yet I get emails. Even though my lawyer has paid all the fees, I still get emails.
Saying
I
you
still
haven't
get
paid.
letters saying that I have not paid. So every time we get those things, he's always checking.
thanks.
Yeah.
I'm like, forward.
It's not just one or two. It's constantly. Every day I get something where you owe money or you haven't paid
Now,
this.
that didn't have anything to do with anything. It was just a sheriff, right, saying that you're supposed to be arrested for something.
Yeah, you didn't show up for federal
It's just another
jury duty.
scam.
Yeah.
It's a scam to get extra money out of you.
I have, by the way, I missed jury duty one time, and I had to go in like the day afterwards because I realized, oh crap, I had jury duty yesterday, and I walked in and I fell on my knees and begged for forgiveness, and they just said sit down. And I was dismissed an hour later. So
They don't pay you much per day.
no, I don't know what it is these days. $18 a day or something.
I don't think
something
do they really
silly.
want lawyers on the
No,
yeah.
hardly ever.
as jurors, yeah.
You're lucky in that regard.
I was called to jury duty several years ago, and I wanted to get on because it was a grand jury. And I've never done that before. I said, this would be great. I'd love to see what a grand jury does. And the lawyer's like, no, we don't want to take up your time. We have a law. I said, no, I'll serve. And they said, no, forget
then
about it.
you're going to be competing with the other lawyers.
No,
like,
I wanted to do it. They said, no, we don't want to harm your law practice. You're a solo practitioner. I don't want to take money out of your pocket. You go back to work.
They don't want you asking so many questions.
Polite way to say we do not want the competition.
Yeah, anyway.
The competition.
Yes, it's competition. He may know the juror might know way more than
you get free press out of it.
and then the juror might know more than the lawyer. Oops, I don't want to say that.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
So anyway, aside from all that, if you get a phone call saying you're going to be arrested or do this, or if
Email.
you could not have to do that if you just
Or
pay
text.
some money. Don't pay any money.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit.
No.
It's ridiculous. But anyway,
You remember all the scams during COVID with people dressed up in those hazmat outfits, going door to door saying, we're going to give you the test. We're going to give you,
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah. Don't leave your apartment. Let us check out your apartment to see if it has COVID inside. And they'd go and rip them off and steal. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they
I
would
didn't
go
know
to the
about that.
elderly. They just knock on the door and say, we have to check out your apartment. See if,
And that's what's going on right now. The elders, everyone's scared. So any little scam come up right now,
I'm telling you,
you're
just
going
don't
to
know.
get it. People are going to be racking up.
Yeah.
People, if you don't know something, if you're uncomfortable, just do not send any money until you talk to someone.
Yeah, dude, don't send it.
Yeah. Do not get nervous. Do not get scared. It's your money, and you always have chances. It's never the last chance. So you check it out. Make sure it's right. Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. Make sure it's the right people reaching out to you. Don't just say, oh my goodness, and start panicking and then just shoot money out your pocket.
Now, it's not always the scammers that are doing it, right? Other people become
your
opportunists, right?
Yeah.
Opportunists. Even homeowners become opportunists. They turn into scammers overnight
Yeah.
when they see there's an opportunity to make some money here.
Yeah.
It's a good segue to what we're going to talk about today. But I remember it with FEMA and flood damage. People would claim that their home was destroyed, and then FEMA would go there, inspect the area, and find out it was an empty lot. So, it's not only
Well,
the
it was
scammers.
damaged. It was
was
washed away.
blown away.
It was washed away.
Without
Completely
a trace
gone.
of anything ever being built there.
Completely.
Sounds good.
So yes, I don't know what I told my client. I gave her very good advice. I said, well, I don't know how true this is. I'll look into it, but what I recommend is get in your car and drive away, go to a coffee shop, just in case they were actually coming to arrest her.
It's like when they say the IRS, we never call you.
Right.
It's probably the same type of deal, right? We're never going to call you to say, hey,
Yeah, you're gonna get in
come
trouble
and report it to
regardless.
the police station so you can be
Yeah,
handcuffed properly.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Be
Anyway.
cordial.
If they really want you, they're coming to get you. They're not sending you letters and say, "Hey, heads up."
No, that's
That means you've already overstepped your boundaries. You're already at the last point, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, now that we've talked, now I'd love to do an episode on scams.
Just scams.
To-
Yeah.
because
goodness.
I've even been hit with some really sophisticated scams, and I see how lawyers get scammed, and they end up sending
really?
money out of
Yeah.
their trust account. to
Even
people.
lawyers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everyone
yeah.
gets scammed.
Oh yeah, but we'll do an
Yeah.
episode on that, and
Next
we'll
time.
put together 3 or 4 of the major scams that are out there these days. But and anyway, so yesterday I was meandering home after work, and was it yesterday? No,
Day before yesterday.
Day
Yesterday
before
is when you were
yesterday. I'm
checking
sorry.
on it.
That's-
Yeah.
It's been so, time flies when you're having fun.
Oh my goodness, this week went by so fast.
I know,
Ugh.
but so I'm walking home and I'm walking down the street and there's a restaurant that we live above,
Pistache.
restaurant. And the manager, I say, I see hi to the manager and he goes, "Oh, take a look at this." He leads me to the back room and they have a trash can or two where water's pouring down out of the ceiling.
Wow.
They're on the first floor now, pouring down out of the ceiling into these trash buckets. And I said, "Well, what happened?" And he says, "We don't know all the facts yet, but there was supposedly a sprinkler line broke or something happened on the 5th floor around 509, 508. What numbers are they?
I think 509.
509.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in 410, so I'm right below, and I'm like, "Hey, let me go up and check my condo."
We live very close to each other, so it's all where the water goes, uphill or downhill.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
lucky. He wasn't as lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing happened to you?
Nothing.
Oh, you're lucky.
Nothing.
Yeah,
You're
no,
really
not that lucky. I've been hit by 2 hurricanes. So what goes around comes around.
Oh, so I walked.
Well, it's not your time. It's not your
No,
time. Next time.
next time. But so I walked into into my condo and our condo and saw that there was about a quarter to a half inch of water covering my entire first floor, all nice hardwood floors. And I said, "What should I do now?" So first thing I did, and we'll talk about it. First thing I did is I immediately called the insurance company and then went downstairs and had a glass of wine.
I can
To
see
calm
that.
your nerves.
To calm my nerves. I
And
was
then
so
he
distraught.
texts me and say, "We have a flood or something like that." I'm like, "Well, I'm
See,
going
I
to
could
dinner with
never
the
do
girls."
that. I could never do that. Just leave the water
Let
there.
it sit there.
What are we
Right?
supposed to do with it? You're gonna mop it up?
Let it. Well, of course, you know the hardwood
No.
floor is going to suck it
You're
all
done,
up.
yeah, you're done.
You know it's destroyed already, guys. So I guess you did the right thing.
Yeah.
That was the right move.
Right. So those of you who live in they used to call them, high-rise buildings. I call them vertical structures anyway.
Yeah.
Very, very formal. But anyway,
Wonderful.
for those of you who live in high-rise structures, and if you're not fortunate enough to be on the top floor, and someone above you decides to do something, or pipes break above you, or,
You're SOL.
you're SOL. And there was quite a bit of water. I was shocked when they sucked up the water, how much water there actually was
Yeah.
on the floors.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they had this big, huge machine, this vacuum, and they had the canister, and they had to dump it 3 times.
Yeah. So I don't know if everybody knows, but if you let the standing water just dry out on its own, you're going to have mold that
Mold.
develops within 48 hours here in Florida.
Are you
So-
serious?
Oh yeah.
I'm already
Mold
dead.
starts within 48 hours.
Yeah, they came in.
They can say they dried it up, but I know there's mold.
There's
There has
always
to be
going
mold.
to be water
Yeah.
left over. It
Yep.
doesn't matter how much
Mhm.
drying you do.
Yeah, no, there's. So the first thing I did immediately was called my insurance company, and we'll talk about that. If you live in a condo, you rent a condo, you own it, whatever, or an apartment, if you're renting it, get renter's insurance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And if you
Sure.
own it, you have to have insurance unless you don't have a mortgage. And even if you don't have a mortgage, I would say get insurance.
Yeah, get your internal insurance for your personal belongings.
Yeah, because this is not something I caused. And then this is not the first flood we've had.
Mhm.
Right.
Like this is.
It happens constantly.
yeah,
Yeah.
it keeps.
Sorry. Ignore that.
What?
Don't worry about that. You have a good topic. Keep going.
okay.
You're doing such a great job.
Can you turn that
There's
off?
a lot of
No, maybe
digging
not.
going on.
Good Lord.
Does that mean we have good
That means
ideas?
it's important.
Good
I
ideas.
just don't know that. Anyway.
Oh, my
Um,
friend Trish.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
welcome to the
Family
show.
stuff. Hi, Trish.
Hi, Trish. Welcome to the show. But anyway, so the first thing you should do is contact your insurance company.
Absolutely.
And the reason being is my insurance company had someone out there within 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours to start sucking up the water and drying and start the mitigation process with the big dryers and dehumidifiers. Not that it's going to fix everything, because it's still 2 days later high moisture levels underneath the floorboards, because
Yes.
that's because all the caulk or whatever materials are under there
And then
are soaking up the water.
And then you're in. Oh my goodness. And then oh my goodness. Then you're inside the home, and the fans are going. So any little dust particle is just
Ugh,
blowing
all
around.
Yeah.
So the next day I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, the best part about it, well, the sad part was I don't know what happened. Okay, still going.
Okay.
Oh, scared me.
Get your hands off there.
Yeah.
It
Stop
said-
playing with
It
it.
said something. I'm like,
Mine,
whoa.
mine didn't even go
Stop
live.
playing.
So
Yeah.
I was
Yours-
hoping mine would go live. It didn't go live.
No.
Only yours.
Mine
and
went
his.
live.
Yeah, but
Okay.
mine
Yeah.
didn't go live for some reason. So we're gonna have to look at
So
that.
in any event, so next week we want to talk about the
SSCK.
Mendez brothers, and we're going to do some research as to what they're actually seeking, because the question becomes, do we make exceptions for people? I mean, there's a lot of people that are in jail for life for murdering someone, And now some people are saying, well, these two guys, they paid their dues. Well, what about all the other thousands of people in there? I mean, have they paid their dues?
And they didn't do it in the heat of the moment. It wasn't like they were
No, it
arguing
was
at the
planned.
time. They planned to kill their parents.
Yeah.
And I guess they were fearful for their lives as well.
I watched a docuseries on it once, and it was, you don't know what's true in a docuseries, but anyway, it seemed to indicate that they thought, I think their parents said we should go for a boat ride one time, like this weekend, let's do a boat ride.
Oh boy.
And they were, I think they had threatened their parents that they were going to come clean. They were going to expose them because supposedly the father had been molesting the two Mendez brothers for years.
Which is the right thing to do.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Exactly.
You tell the authorities.
So when mom and dad suggested a boat ride, the brothers, according to their story, were thought to themselves, Mom and Dad's going to kill us, so we've got to kill them first.
TK, you are live.
So they went out.
That's
Oh,
good.
there we go.
I don't know if you can see it, though.
Yeah, I can see it.
You can see it. Okay.
Yeah, it says you're live.
That's good.
Boy.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So they went out and bought a shotgun, I think, and
Forgot
shot
that you
both
were
their parents.
Forgot you were talking.
Yeah, I know. And plus, they actually, I think the mother was still on the floor, half alive. So they went up and made sure she was pumped. They pumped another one into her head to make sure she was dead for sure. So it was not a simple little murder, and it wasn't heat of the moment.
That's pretty morbid.
It was planned. So we're going to talk about that next week.
Tim likes to watch real life stuff. I'm more of a sci-fi, love, sex, all that stuff.
Yeah, but even those have a little bit of embellishment in there.
I don't like watching stuff like that.
Yeah,
anything that's too real and reality that's not happy in the end. I like fairy tales.
Well, that guy Stacy Keach, right? That's how he made a big living, right? Out of talking about these things, those scandals.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it for the day.
Like our book, we have a book club book this week, this month, and I do not like reading stuff like this. It's like a lady who's married. She wants a divorce from her husband, and the kids already went off to college, and now she's seen that she doesn't really love her husband anymore. He's cheated, and now she's talking about killing him. I'm like, what kind of book is this for the book club? I do not want to watch. I do not want to read it, listen to it, anything.
The amazing thing is that's real life.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do.
The lawyer's going to tell us that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And then there's one girl that she's going through a divorce. She's like, I don't want nothing to do with this book because this book now is like, suppose her husband sees her reading this book and then now she gets all the money.
Hey, and also I want to tie in next week to the murder trial I did back in the 1990s as well. It was after the Mendez murder, but it was here in Florida. And our client, a 16-year-old boy, ended up walking down the street and killing an old woman. I think she was 82. Her name was Molly Frazier. And he's in prison for the rest of his life. We tried to get him resentenced because he was originally sentenced as a juvenile at 16 years old to life in prison. And we tried through the governor's office for years. And even after I left that firm, they continued to try, but no success. So I'll tell you a little bit about that story. And it just shows like the Mendez brothers did a horrible crime, and they said they had extenuating circumstances. They were being molested.
Right.
The client, his name is Victor Brancaccio. He was on Zoloft as a young child, and he claimed that it made him do crazy things, and there was good medical evidence of this. And so we'll talk a little bit about both.
Oh, yeah, because they have similarities, except one might be chemically induced and the other one just might be premeditated.
Exactly.
Right?
So,
and these were rich kids, right? These were
The
rich
Mendez
kids in both cases.
yeah, I think
actually.
what is that? Beverly Hills home was worth like $14 million back
Well,
then.
I remember
Then,
once they off the parents, they were like
The shopping
flashy
spree.
shopping.
Yeah, they went
nice cars, everything.
trips and
Yeah.
cars, and that was part of the trial. That
Oh, and then one told one just act like he was gay, and then I remember it now.
So they
See,
were
I don't
in a
like to watch stuff like
celebration
this.
mode after they killed their
Yeah.
parents.
Well,
And when they got caught, they
I think
still
it was
made it
remorse.
up.
They were just very sad, very depressed, and they had to go out and make
They had to
themselves
go
feel
out
good.
and have a shopping
Oh,
spree.
it's just like a woman. If we're depressed, we go shopping. It makes us feel better. Okay.
All right, so listen, thanks for sticking around, and hopefully you learned a little something about when you come home and your floor has an inch of water on it, or the water's cascading down the walls, and if not, give us, or if you have any questions, send us an email or something, and we'll try to answer it. All right.
And hopefully you have a partner, or when I say it's good to have someone else there with you to balance out all that stress. Hopefully you have someone there with you. You're not just by yourself doing all this work, because you still have to go back to work, and then you still have to worry about all of this. There's a balance.
All right.
Can you handle the pressure?
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Happy St. Patrick's Day,
Yes.
everybody.
Hope you guys like the green in my hair.
Have a good one.